What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NBA Pick and Pod. My name is Dawson Shen, and I'm your host. And today, we're kicking it off with an amazing finish to the Summer League. We had the Las Vegas Summer League, been going on the past couple of weeks. I'm sure most of you guys have heard about it. Teams competing, showing off their rosters with their rookies, some of their sophomore players, and undrafted players to see who can compete to get NBA roster spots. So you know those kids are playing hard. And they had the championship game last night. Holy crap, did they play hard. Went into overtime with the Chicago Bulls versing off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 84-82 was the final score. Bulls won in OT off the backs of a Denzel Valentine 360 turnaround jumper at the buzzer. Insane finish. This game was probably better than most of the playoff games you watched this year because some of those playoff games, blowouts. This game had a 4 buzzer beater total. That's ridiculous. 4 buzzer beaters, including a buzzer beater at the end of the fourth quarter by Denzel Valentine from 3 to tie the game up to go to OT, 77 all. Then it had him hitting the game-winning shot at the buzzer, turn around, barely look at the hoop, and just throw it up a prayer. And amazingly enough, those are 2 out of his 3 total shots he made this game. He shot 1 for 7 from 3. Guess what that one make was? The game-tying triple at the end of the fourth quarter. Ridiculously clutch right there. He put on a great show at 7 points, 8 rebounds, but he wasn't the real star of this team. No, that was Jerry Grant, who we all know was in the trade when Derrick Rose got sent to the New York Knicks a couple weeks ago, and he showed out in his sophomore year, his second year at the Summer League, going out there, got 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, earning himself Summer League Championship MVP. Now, that's not the same thing as the Summer League MVP. No, that award went to the Minnesota Timberwolves' Tyus Jones on the other side of the court, who put up a very nice 27 points and 10 assists, but didn't win the game. That's what matters. Remember, the game's about winning. And that's what Jerry Grant helped to do. He won the game and gets the fans hyped because now Chicago Bulls get to look at their roster and realize they got some really nice pieces coming off the bench that can just help bolster the roster for the future or even for the next season. Jerry Grant probably won't get too many minutes coming up this season, but even with Rondo at the starting position, you still know that you're going to need some backup there because Jose Calderon really isn't going to be a good fit-in off the bench for at least more than 20 minutes a game max, maybe 15. So Jerry Grant's going to get some playtime, and you know that this kind of performance in this Summer League Championship MVP is exactly how you get that kind of playing time. He definitely earned it last night, and it was a fun game to watch. Summer League is really getting put on the map. Not enough people actually tune in to watch these games, but now, with them becoming actually exciting, seems like some real NBA talents on the floor. You got Bobby Portis for the Bulls as well. You've got Tyus Jones, Adrian Payne. I mean, these people are actually NBA caliber players on the court. So it's really fun to watch the future of the NBA duke it out on a Las Vegas court, try and win a championship. And let me tell you, some people say it doesn't really matter, but as Denzel Valentine himself said, Summer League matters to the people who've actually played in it. The only people that say it doesn't matter are the people who don't participate. I mean, this is actually a fun experience for them to learn how to play basketball at a higher level, compete against players that they're going to try and be on the same roster as, and show their stuff. Because teams need to know if these people can compete at a higher level than college. And this is one of the best ways to do it right before the season starts and just get the blood going and get them more comfortable. Because I'm sure it's very nerve-wracking being a rookie on an NBA roster. So props to both of these teams, playing an amazing game. And props to the Bulls for winning the Summer League Championship because we all know they're not going to win the actual one. Alright, so enough about roasting the Bulls. I'm going to move on to some actual trade rumors. Back to the real NBA. And the biggest one I'm talking about is going to be the Greg Monroe situation and the Rudy Gay situation. Now, Greg Monroe, we all know, power forward, the Moose, out of Milwaukee right now. He's on a pretty big contract, starter money. Well, used to be starter money. Now it's bench role player money. The new NBA. But he's a back-to-the-basket big man, got a good array of post moves, but has almost no range. Like, you give him the ball 10 feet out, and he's probably going to try and back a guy down. He will not face up. So it really limits his ability in most offenses. It takes a very specific type of team to actually utilize him properly, a team that's predicated around post play. Most teams these days are not predicated around post play. It's all about exterior passing. It's all about getting the ball moving around the perimeter, motion offenses, things like that to get open three-point shots. You want to drive and kick, slash, cut around the basket, that kind of thing. Quick moving plays. You do not want a big man plodding in the paint, doing a couple of fakes, throwing up a shot, and limiting the chances for an offensive rebound. So he's really kind of phased out of the modern NBA game, but he still has skill. The only real problem, though, is that his lack of range on offense and his lack of ability on defense. He's not a shot blocker. If you put him up against someone, he will not block their shot. He's not a good defender. He's got kind of small arms for his size, and he has very little defensive IQ. And it's not to say he's stupid. It's to say that he doesn't know how to defend properly at the NBA level without being able to block shots, which he can't do. So it limits what teams can actually take him. But he's open to trade right now due to the new Miles Plumlee signing by the Bucks. They've already bolstered up their front court, so they don't really need him anymore. The only issue is that most teams really don't see a way to fit him into their roster. But one team that I've heard about, and one team that I think would be a great fit for him, would be the San Antonio Spurs, who have now lost Tim Duncan, one of their best post players, because they're a team that did have a couple of post plays specifically built just for Tim Duncan. And we all know his incredible work in the post and his bank shot. Greg Monroe has a good array as well of moves. And I think that if you actually incorporate him into the San Antonio offense, you can really showcase his ability to score in the post and actually get him the ball on the blocks so he can go to work when you need to. Plus, it takes some of the pressure off of LaMarcus Aldridge, who can consistently get double-teamed in the post when he tries to go down there, because you can actually throw in Greg Monroe as well, even though LaMarcus Aldridge does not like to play center. You can have him play center for a bit, Greg Monroe at power forward, have him at high-low post, and just do some action between the two big men. And that could be an incredible way to run their offense in the absence of Tim Duncan. But we'll see what happens, because they need to try and find a third team in order to do a trade with the Milwaukee Bucks, because they really don't have enough cap space or mobility of assets to actually just do a direct two-team trade. But we'll see how that develops. I think they're the best fit for Greg Monroe, and he would probably love to go to the San Antonio organization and showcase his ability on a much better team on a bigger stage. But my other trade rumor I want to talk about is Rudy Gay of the Sacramento Kings. Now, Rudy Gay has gotten some serious flack over the years. He's had some difficulties with field goal percentage. But let me tell you, Rudy Gay is way better than everyone gives him credit for. He had some difficulty on the Raptors because he was the main scorer, the main player. And when he left that team, they ended up making the playoffs the next year without him. Actually, that season without him. And then when he went to the Memphis Grizzlies, he played for them for a while. They thought that he was a net negative on the floor. They traded him to the Kings, and all of a sudden, the Grizzlies made the playoffs. Now, you're seeing a pattern here, right? Wrong. I disagree. I think that the pattern is false, because he's actually a great player. I'm not saying superstar, but I'm saying a great player. He's someone you're going to want on your team. He has good outside scoring ability. He's tall, small forward, who can shoot over players, as well as create his own shot. You can depend on him to get 20 points, 30 points a night, even though it may take more shots than you want. Because a go-to scorer, when you actually need a bucket, is very difficult to find in the NBA. Look at the Celtics, for example, last year. Their go-to scorer was 5'9". That made it very difficult to get an open shot off. Rudy Gay doesn't have that kind of difficulty, because he can just get a shot off over players if he has to. Take a turnaround. He won't get blocked, really. Also, Rudy Gay is fantastic on the defensive end. I'd compare him very much to Iman Shumpert, who Cavs fans are very protective of. They don't really want to trade him that much because he's healthy this year. But in reality, Rudy Gay is probably a better defender than Iman Shumpert. He's got the size, the length, and he's great hands. He steals the ball consistently from other players, jumping into passing lanes, and also helping double team, as well as stuffing the ever-living shit out of some players because of his just sheer size and athleticism. And yet, people consistently think that he is not a good player. He can shoot from outside, he can be a huge boost to your offense when you need a go-to scorer, and he can defend from probably the 1 to the 4 for stretches of the game. I mean, that's a fantastic package right there. And I don't really get why Sacramento wants to trade him, except they might think that DeMarcus Cousins will not be re-signing with them or signing an extension. So if they fear that DeMarcus Cousins is leaving, they're probably not going to want to keep Rudy Gay around because he'll just hinder their efforts to really tank again. Not that they haven't stopped tanking, to be honest. They continue to suck year in, year out, year in, year out. But overall, I think that any team that can get Rudy Gay onto their roster is making a huge improvement. One team I would like to see him on, Cleveland Cavaliers, only because they don't really need more scoring and they don't really need better players, except that when you look across the way, across the continent, you see the Golden State Warriors building their super team down the way over at Oracle Arena, and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe we need to make our own super team. So you add Rudy Gay. And the way I'd probably see them do that is trading Iman Shumpert, maybe Mo Williams, in some kind of package deal with another team involved. That way they can get rid of those two, ship them out, get Rudy Gay back, and really bolster up their scoring from their bench. Because we know they're going to start to lack it this year. So I could really see them looking to use Rudy Gay on their roster. Also, there's plenty of other teams he could help out. The Celtics, for example. The Bulls even, because they're going to need some outside scoring now, considering their roster has less spacing than what you find between two airline seats. That's how bad their roster is built right now, with Rondo, Wade, and Butler not being able to shoot the three consistently. So I definitely keep my ears open, wondering to see where Rudy Gay goes, because I'm sure there's some team that's going to try and snatch him up if they continue to throw him around in these trade rumors. If he's really open for trading, then someone's going to want him. Or if not, I'll take him. I mean, seriously. These people are underestimating his actual ability. But I'm going to get back to you guys tomorrow with some more rumors, some more stories from the NBA, and what's going on in the whole world of basketball. Thanks for listening today. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to talk about these trade rumors, even the Minnesota versus Chicago Summer League Championship game. Whatever you want to talk about, even suggestions for later shows, let me know in the comments. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for listening.